Shalom, welcome to the Jewish View. My name is Rabbi Nachman Simon with the Chabad House of Delmar, and we have a very special guest with us today, Chaya Rubin, the director of Friendship Circle. Say hi, everybody.
Hi, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
What's Friendship Circle? Tell us just from the beginning. It sounds nice, let's be friends, but nothing wrong with that. But what exactly is your organization?
So Friendship Circle is a not-for-profit worldwide organization that helps children with special needs. It actually started in Detroit, Michigan, quite a few years ago, and we started it here in the capital region. And we try to basically provide respite for the parents that have children with special needs. So it's a very needed program in our community.
You know, that's very interesting because I think society, maybe they're more aware of it now, but maybe in the olden days, we'd have people on there, the advocates for like the handicapped, and now there's handicap parking. I mean, I guess you're young, and I always say I'm 29, but all right. In any case, I remember, who cares, you're handicapped, tough luck. And also for special children, they don't have that many services.
Yeah.
So, I mean, now more and more people
Definitely
are aware
more
and that they care about it. But, of course, this is for Jewish children specifically?
No, we're actually listed as a non-religious organization, so we're open to all. Yeah.
And there are other children that come involved?
Yes.
How do they get recommended to you? I mean, how do you publicize, say, hey, we're a Friendship Circle, and, come and join us?
So a lot of it is word of mouth based on parents. They all have friends, and, the children go to school with other children. So it's really a lot about word of mouth. And then we have our website, and we have Facebook, and I try to get some things in different magazines and different newspapers and things like that. But pretty much word of mouth, I would say, is 85% of our...
And who helps these children? I mean...
So we're a volunteer-based. So we reach out to ages 14 and up of volunteers in the community. We go to different schools and different colleges, and we provide full training to the volunteers on what it's like to be with children who have special needs and different behaviors that can come into play. But these volunteers are literally the glue that holds this organization together. They're amazing.
It's very interesting because, again, I always have so many different people from different people in the community on the Jewish View, and the teenagers, which you're saying 14 and a little older, college students, that, what should we do with them? And they're just thinking of the me generation. They're always thinking about themselves, and they don't care about anything. And here it's very incredible service that they're not even getting paid. All right, a lot of kids take jobs and they work in a fast food, make themselves a few extra dollars. Here they're volunteering, and they're helping really kids who really need that special help. And it's really an incredible resource. And they're always looking for advice. What should we do? Yeah. How do you get these teenagers involved? And here you're doing it. You can talk and moan and groan all you want, but someone who's doing something about it.
And they do it willingly, and they make such beautiful friendships that last actually a really long time. So it's really beautiful.
And these kids, so tell us about, the children a little bit about, what's their issues? Are they learning disabled? Or
so we have a variety.
Obviously there's a lot of different issues kids could have.
Are. We have a few that, have Down syndrome, and it's a wide range of different handicap. A few that are mobile, nonverbal, very aggressive, different type of children, and the volunteers really come in with a full heart and are willing and ready to help the children, and you see the children's faces. They go from nonverbal to happy and excited and doing different motions, and it's really beautiful to see.
It's very interesting, it's just that, a little, like you say, friendship, a little love does bring out, children. Because probably, again, frame the situation, if they're a little bit kind of different or off. I don't know if you like those words. But they are different. They're regular kids. So kids could be mean. If you can't play baseball, well, we don't want you on the team.
Right.
You drop the ball all the time. Who wants you? So what do you think that kid feels?
It's horrible.
He sees all the kids playing ball. I'm just giving one instance. Or playing games, and you're not verbalizing. You're a little different. You're a little odd, and kids, like I say, a lot of times are mean, and, well, we don't want to play with you. So these people just really don't have friends. And here's someone who's just older, and, hey, I like you, and you're good. What that means to these children. That's even without the special programming. Right. That's what I'm saying, just that idea that someone likes them and wants to be with them and play with them.
Yeah, it's definitely amazing.
Are the activities? I mean, just not just being friends, but
Right. No,
there
there's a
are
whole-
certain things to be done.
Yes. Our programs are very, a wide range of programs. So we start with Sunday Circle. That happens twice a month on a Sunday. It's for 3.5 hours. And of course, the volunteers come for a breakfast before the kids come. And we have a few different therapies. We have pet therapy, music therapy, art therapy.
What is pet therapy? Talk about these things.
So pet
It's
therapy is
interesting.
unbelievable. So they found that through petting animals, specifically dogs, we have a lot of golden retrievers, like 3 or 4 that come, and they come with a book about the dog, and the children sit there, and then each of them have a dog, and they get to stroke the dog, and they get to play with the dog, and they walk the dog around. It's a sense of responsibility, but it just relaxes the kids, and it's just amazing to watch.
It's amazing. I still don't have a hold on it because we had, like I say, so many different people, and there's war veterans, and some of these guys that come back from Iraq and Afghanistan, they have a lot of psychological problems. So one of the solutions, they say, is horse therapy. So, we had people explain it, and I'm still not getting it clear, maybe because I never had a pet, maybe. That's it. They say, well, what's a horse going to help a person? Or right, it's fun to ride on a horse, but the therapy, I still don't, maybe
Well, you have to visit the local horse stable and let me know how it is. It's amazing, horse therapy. We actually do that as well.
Really?
We take them during the summer to New Horizons Horse Stable, and they get to paint the horse, and they build a relationship, and they name the horse. They saddle it and ride it. And watching the kids being able to, I don't know if it's, I don't know, you're right, I don't know exactly what it is about animals that make the kids feel calm and relaxed and happy and responsible, and this is their pet for the day, and this is what they're taking care of. Makes them feel good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There is this, I never heard it before, but the horse therapy, pet therapy.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll
like
do more research and let you know exactly what it is.
All right. And what other things you're doing then?
Okay, so that's Sunday Circle. And then we have moms and, go ahead.
Well, I'm just saying, like you say, art, you do art.
We do art
is
therapy.
Always, I know that they...
Yes, art is great. We do a lot of, so a few kids have sensory issues where they don't like to get their hands full of paint, but there's a big chunk that like to do painting on oak
I don't
boards.
like my hands getting full of paint also over it.
So we have a lot of
Right.
different sensory activities that the kids can do, whether it's wearing gloves and they do sand art, or they do a lot of baking with dry ingredients because they don't like the wetness. We do music therapy. A local woman comes in with a bunch of different instruments, and she sings songs, and each of the kids have a beautiful mat with their name written on it, so that's their spot. They get up and they dance and they sing, and it's great.
Yeah, I think it's incredible. But so certain things that like they always talk about maybe kids who are learning disabled in one level, maybe they don't read and write, but like they're geniuses in music. You always hear about those kind of ideas. Do you ever come upon that? Like, maybe, well, you can't go in a classroom, so they get thrown out or whatever have you. Oh, you're a failure. And then in one aspect, they're just great. Like I'm thinking art or music.
Well, there's
art
actually
stories like
one
that.
child that's nonverbal who's 18 years old and plays piano.
Really?
So that was something very interesting to learn because I did not know that was possible, but he had a special interest in piano. So he just taught himself, and he can't
Really?
speak. That's the way he expresses himself, is through music.
Yeah, because a regular person is good and give or take a little bit of art, a little music, that's a normal school, but sometimes you have these geniuses, that's what you read about them. They failed in school, but they're mathematicians. They just figured out some new idea that no one ever thought of before. So it's interesting to fill out with these children. How many children are there in these?
So currently we have 27 families enrolled in the Friendship Circle.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and that's all the way from Kingston to, I would say, Saratoga.
And they come all the way to Albany
They
just
come-
because they know this is the special program just for
And
them.
a lot of them, the next program I was going to talk about is something called Friends at Home, where quite a few families can't really come out on Sundays and they can't find rides there and back. So we set up a program called Friends at Home, and we pair up volunteers from the community to the child's house. And they get a text message of different ideas that they can do with the child, like different home activities, different experiments and things like that. So they go once a week and visit some children as well and build a relationship that way. Homework, sports, and whatever they need to do.
Is there, the training is very interesting to me because obviously they're you could say they're high school kids, maybe they're college kids, but they're not psychologists
Right.
or counselors, which you need to be a licensed, all right, it takes a lot of time to learn and to be trained in it, and here you're, training them right away. So how is the training,
It's
goes
challenging.
about?
It's challenging for the children. It really is, just to hear all the different things. But we have a very special behavioral analyst who comes and she does the training for the volunteers. And we do it in 2 shifts, the younger kids and then the older kids. So we're able to really gear it and talk to them about the different situations that children could have, and really make them apply it to, well, they know who they're paired with before they come to the training, so they can ask questions based on their specific child. So it's more like an overall, if my child bites me, what do I do? Different situations like that. And they just learn overall about behaviors, and the children are special and different things like that, and how to communicate with them for those that are nonverbal. So it's really a very detail-oriented training. It's not like a psychology, and they don't walk out with a master's in 3 hours, but they
I
do get a
would
lot of
think so.
information.
Maybe the volunteers ever come back to you and say, hey, I turned me on. I'd like to be a counselor or a child psychologist. Just maybe that opens up their eyes
It
to say, hey,
does.
I'd like to get into this. Obviously you need, like I said, college, and you need training, to say the least, to be a professional. But just, gives them a taste of something. Hey, I like doing this. It's rewarding, to say the least.
It is rewarding for them. And a few of them have said they had a prior interest in special ed teaching before they came to the Friendship Circle, and they came here only because they had an interest. But there are those that do leave here saying, you know what, I think I want to go into this field. So it's special to see the later on down the road kids who
wanted it,
wanted that, yeah.
started with volunteering over here.
Yeah.
And what about the children? What about following up? Let's say, how old do the children go?
18.
You said
5
18.
to 18.
5 to 18. And there's 18, then you don't, too difficult?
So it's a little harder after 18 to be able to make a program for them a little bit older. But I am working with somebody in the community who is going to figure out how, after they graduate from the Friendship Circle, they can then continue on with an adult program. So we're paired up with that and trying to make that happen for January.
No, that's very good. So that was one of the questions, what your goals are to expand. I know, like you started saying from the beginning, Friendship Circle is not only local. You are the Capital District Coordinator, but on the other hand, it's really, you say, country, national, and worldwide. But there are certain places, do they have, like, I don't know if they have a convention, or, it'd be hard to travel maybe.
There is a convention once a year for the Friendship Circle directors. And I actually just went to it, I think it was a few months ago, in New Jersey, actually, in Newark. So that is really great to see a bunch of different directors and you get ideas. And we also have a WhatsApp group, so I'm able to exchange ideas and what worked for them and what works for me. So it's a really beautiful family.
Yeah, I heard, like, Detroit. Where is the center, really, in Detroit, where they have a whole building?
They do. They have a huge
Yeah.
building just for the Friendship
Yeah.
Circle. I'm not exactly sure the address, but
Yeah.
it's
We're not going there either way. But I'm just saying, there is, to expand these kind of ideas, you can really expand.
absolutely.
Ultimately, you can have far-reaching goals of, maybe your own dedicated building
That
for
would
that.
be an amazing
That would
goal.
be,
There's a lot of different sensory things that come into play with working with children with special needs. So having a building with a sensory room and a snack room and a gym and all the things that they would need, so we don't have to go elsewhere, would be a great goal.
How do you get funded with that? Because you say it's volunteers, but there's a lot of people that are involved.
Yes, there are a lot of people. We have amazing donors who really help us and stand behind us. We have a lot of grants from the government that funds us. But a lot of it is just knocking on doors and explaining what the Friendship Circle is about and getting some money from community members as well.
So they have to feel that. Once they do it, it's interesting, I guess, because when a rabbi, you say, well, we're teaching Judaism. Say, well, I'm not interested in it, but who's going to deny, what your story,
Right.
who's going to say, well, I don't care about this, and, it doesn't make a difference to me, and I can't believe
I haven't found that, right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You could say there's a rabbi. I come for this synagogue. I don't want to pray. Leave me alone over here. It doesn't turn me on. But like I say, I don't see anybody denying, saying,
No.
well, I'm not interested. I don't think you're doing something that important to the community. So that's an important point.
Right, and we also just started a program called Adopt a Child.
Oh, really? What's that about?
So we basically wanted to see if we could, instead of asking for money, they would basically have this full packet of a specific child that is enrolled in the Friendship Circle, and they would sponsor them for the year, and they would get updated versions every month about the growth and what they're doing now in pictures and things like that. So we're going to see hopefully that program would work, versus just asking for money towards a friendship circle. I feel like people want to give to a specific.
One child.
Yeah,
that's always a good idea. Dedicate a day, dedicate a classroom, dedicate a child, and that would be good. You could almost then send them, here's a picture of the child doing this, and
exactly.
Going
Updates.
on this road.
Yep.
Do you go on road trips? That's what I was thinking also. I mean, maybe to the forest. I'm just saying to take them around.
Yes. So we have for our summer and winter camp, it's a trip based. So every day is actually a different trip.
Oh, really?
We do the New Horizon Horse Stable, like I mentioned before.
Do they ride the horse?
They do. So there's
really?
4 different groups. They get to paint the horse with their hands.
What do you mean paint the horse when you said it before? What are you
saying? It's
saying?
unbelievable. It's amazing to watch it. We have it on our Facebook, Capital Region Friendship Circle. You can see the pictures. They are split into 4 groups. They have 4 horses. They take their hands and they get washable paint and they make handprints on the horse.
Really? I never heard of it.
They get to paint the horse. It's
and they
beautiful.
loved that?
They loved it. Well, those kids that didn't want to get their hands wet, were able to watch. And then you basically can wash the horse off. Then you brush the horse to make sure it's all clean. Then you saddle it. Then they ride it.
This is interesting. They love that.
They
I never
feel like
heard
$1 million
of that.
bucks. It's great pictures. We do a lot of Sakati Center. They're amazing to us.
What is that now?
Sakati Center is, I think it's not Post Road. It's off of somewhere in Colony. It's a swim center.
Right.
There's a gym. They have a pool, a water park, and they're great to us. So we
for
go there a lot.
kids, it's a specific thing for children that they made it for?
It's not. Water in specific is they like to go swimming. So we go there. They give us a really good rate. So we go there and they have like a water park and there's like different buckets that fill up and the kids can kind of pour over. That's our other place we go to. And then the trampoline park is our go-to place all the time.
And they don't get hurt? I mean, because they always say trampolines, you can fall off, but you would think kids are maybe not.
They love it. A lot of kids really just sit there, and then the volunteers kind of bounce around them, so they feel the motion of going up and down, and it relaxes them. Then those kids that can jump themselves, they just go, and they jump.
It's interesting. I know motion is a special thing for those kind of children.
Yeah.
That they like getting rocked, or like you say,
Exactly.
jump around.
Yep. I think it gets their mind off of a few things, so they're able to just relax when there's motion going on.
Do they go to regular schools, or some of them? I guess there's a wide spectrum of these
There is.
children, like you say, so many different. You can't just learning disabled or special needs children. It's just painting them with a broad brush. Obviously, there's so many different things that are a little, could be special needs children.
I think a few of the children aren't mainstream, those children that are higher functioning, but most of the children are in special schools.
They go through special schools as much as they can, and then they come. You help them out on Sunday. But, again, like I say, that would be important, because if you're in a public school, I could just see it, and I don't know, but, that they're a little bit shunned or something because they're a little bit different. And
it is hard. And I would love to go to schools and talk to these children that do make fun and really give them a good talking to, but it's just, I don't know, that's beyond our control, but
So what other activities do they?
Okay, so we spoke about Sunday Circle, Friends at Home, and we do Moms and Dads Night Out.
All right, there you go.
Yeah, so we not only provide respite to them when we provide services for the children, we decided that we wanted to get the moms all together. They never really talk. They drop off their kids and then they pick them up, so there's no interaction between the moms. And I felt that they really should get to know each other. So we had a Moms Night Out at a spa, and a lot of moms came, and they were all talking to each other, and they got really good ideas from each other because, they're all in the same boat. And it was beautiful. I gave them massages and food, and it was a night of relaxing. It was about 2.5 hours.
It's interesting. My mother was may she rest in peace, was a kindergarten teacher for regular in Chicago for 35 years. And when she would see a special needs child, and it was interesting, she'd say, I feel bad for the parents. We're talking about the child, and of course, obviously they need help and friendship and everything we've been talking about. But there is that whole segment, parents, and, obviously I know parents of special needs children also, and I deal more with, you deal with the special needs kids, and I deal with, more of the adults, of the community. And they're just really, they have to take, you can imagine, again, for people who don't know about it, doesn't take too much imagination altogether where they're bound up. You can't even, like you say, at 13, 14, hey, I'm going away for a few hours. Stay by yourself. Well, you can't leave them by
Right.
themselves wherever you go. And
It's
then
24/7.
even that, the people look at you funny when you go shopping. They're always self-conscious about that. So that's really, it's not only the children, it's really, like what you're saying, is
parents.
just taking care of the parents too. Can't forget about them,
No.
because I think they're really under a lot of stress and a lot of costs and headache. Like that, you send your kid to public school. Okay, this is the public school. Doesn't take too much. Okay, I live in Bethlehem. I'll send to Bethlehem school.
No.
Here you have to send them and special.
Therapies
Yeah,
and doctors, and it's a lot. It's a lot for the
yeah,
parents.
no. That's what I'm saying. Everybody thinks about the children, and
Yeah.
remember my mother said, I just feel bad for the parents. This is their whole life for the next 20, 30 years, or really forever, that they have. They're so burdened. If you want to say it that way, I mean,
don't
you can
think
have a
it- yeah.
better. I mean, it's difficult.
It's difficult.
Yeah,
It's difficult.
like
I think
that.
a lot of these kids do end up to grow up and have a life of their own. There's a big positive community for that. So I think that the parents' work now does not go unnoticed, and special
Yes.
to see what they do.
Well, it's nice that you give them a little day off also, mom and dad. Or,
It's
just
networking
that.
also. There's a lot of parents
Yeah.
that don't know certain things about different therapies or different ideas that really could help. So when moms get together, and when women get together, they like to schmooze. So
Yeah.
a lot gets done, and it's really amazing to see.
Yeah, that's important. Well, just even the idea, people like, hey, you have a child and I have a child. Because again, you have
Yeah.
one child. If let's say they go to public school, you think, well, you're the odd man out. Like the odd parents. What's wrong with me? I have a child. You start thinking you're odd, and you think, hey, there's someone else that is like me, and working together with me, and consummate with each other.
Yeah.
That's an important point.
It is, and I think one of our goals is, we did try
Mm.
it once. It just wasn't. It was good, but we need to perfect it. We wanted to try something called peer-reviewed therapy, which means we take typical children from the community, age group, and pair them up with the children with special needs, and basically they feed off of each other. So this way they're getting more used to the idea that there's other people, there's other children, there's other types of children out there. We tried it with the local camp this past summer. And it worked out well, but I needed to train the children more as far as different behaviors, and these kids are different. It was beautiful because their heart was really in it, and a few of them really did connect, so that was beautiful. But that's definitely my goal, to try to do more of that community, bringing them together and really not just separating them, but have them a part of our community as well.
Yeah, that's, I think, very important. I just, in a few sectors in the community, I think that's important. It's not just your special needs and, you get nice services, that's excellent, and beautiful, but, just, integrate, there takes a
inclusion,
community,
yeah.
takes every kind of person. And, I think it's better, again, like I say, for volunteers. Again, I'm always looking at, you do special needs, but like I said, the parents, where you don't think about it, and just even the volunteers. I'm looking at the people around them that either they grow, and I think a child that would be integrated with a special needs child is just going to grow themselves.
And then when they
not-
reach high school and they do see a child that's different than them, they'll be more understanding and not.
Yeah.
And then they can share their friends and say, "Hey,
Yeah, instead of
don't be mean,"
Stigmatize them. Oh, well,
Exactly.
you guys are something, go off. You go to a different school down the
Right.
block, and
That's-
that kind of idea. So that's why I'm just saying there's ramifications. It's not just because you say, well, we'll hear friendship circles for special needs children isn't that great, which it is, of course it is. But I'm
There's
thinking
more
of in
to
the
it.
periphery, there's the parents, there's the volunteers, there's even, kids down the block that they could, work with them.
Yeah.
It's just for the whole community should be sensitized to, there's other people and people are different, and
And
we
accept
should-
it.
Yeah, that's it. It's a very important point. You
Yeah.
have any other good things
Okay, so
going on?
so
All right.
right, so I talked about
We only
Dad's
have a
Night.
few more minutes, so
Oh
we have
gosh,
to get
this
it in.
half hour does go fast. So the Dad's Night Out, that's really fun as well.
Yeah.
We have, like I said, random fun days where we'll take them to Sakati Center, we'll take them to Funplex Fun Park in East Greenbush. And that's just like a random week before. I'll email the parents, who's going to come, and then I rent a van and we take them. Summer and winter camp. Our winter camp is coming up the end of December. And the most exciting news is
Yeah.
that we are having our first walk. Our first friendship circle
those
walk.
walkathon.
Exactly, exactly.
In order to raise money, really,
Yes,
for the main part.
it's to raise money and to get the community involved and to try to reach a lot of people for this. I want this to be a big walk, and that's June 4th.
All right. Well, as you're looking ahead, you're just.
I have my eye on the goal.
All right.
Details
that's very
to be
good.
announced, but we're excited about this walk.
Yeah, well, a lot of places do that. That's what I'm saying. It's
To raise
just, it's not only like I was just going to say, money is, of course, important. You can't do anything without money. But just the awareness, hey, there's something out there.
We exist.
Because, like you say, that, who knows who's out there? I say that with Jewish people, you think, well, here's the Jewish community. But there's people out there, and that's one of the hardest jobs is just to connect, hey, who's out there? Who's supposed to know out there? And that's what I say almost at the beginning. I said, special needs, and maybe you don't know about them, and maybe they're a little bit, they're going to public school, and they're not on the spectrum of special needs, but saying, hey, my kid doesn't fit in so well, and maybe they would be avail of themselves of the services that you offer. But again, the publicity is so important.
Yes,
that's
it is.
Especially beyond the Jewish view
that's right.
here
That's
now.
Why I'm here. I'm honored to be
saying.
here.
Yeah, that's important. Well, we have just one more minute to go. I mean, when you're having a good time,
I know,
time
that's
flies.
right.
That's what it is. But so you have your goals, and we want to wish you also, again, it's a big, big goal. That's probably in the future of a building or something, a staff that can handle it.
Well, with the community's help, it could be in no time.
There you go. You never know.
That's right.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's a good, surely an incredible service that you're doing for the community, and everybody really should feel that, that they're part of it. It's not, okay, you're doing something for a few kids, but it's really something that, because you become better. People don't understand that. It's obviously we're on the Jewish view, so I have to put in my Jewish topic. I'm a rabbi, but people don't understand when you're helping other people, you're helping yourself more.
Absolutely.
People just, kind of think, okay, these kids need help, and maybe I'll do something for them. You're doing something more for yourself. You're becoming less selfish. You're becoming more human, that you can care not just about your inner circle. These are people I like, and these are my friends. That you're going out of yourself. And people I know that have done that just feel that they're the most fulfilled. You're doing them the best favor in the world. And you're probably doing them a better favor than you're doing for the kids, because they feel, hey, there's a purpose in the world. I'm helping other people out.
They feel needed. Yeah. It's very
So
important.
I want to thank you, Chai, for not only beyond the Jewish view, I was going to say, of course, but taking your time out for this show, but publicizing to the community and doing incredible service to, like I say, not only for these children, but to the volunteers, to the parents, and really, like I said, I just look at it as the whole community is really growing, because you're a human community. You're not a selfish, caring only about myself, and just people have to care about everybody in the community, and that's what a community is.
Yeah.
It's not just the people you like and that you care about. It's people that are, a little difficult, let's face it, to deal with special needs children. It's not the easiest thing in the world, but listen, nothing comes easy in the world. And if you work a little bit more and put yourself out a little more, then you're more fulfilled in what you do. So thank you very much for being on the Jewish View. And we wish you a lot of success.
Thank you very much.